Alright guys, welcome back. I'm your friend Inside XO, and as you can see, today we are going to try to read another English test passage. You know what, I never doubt my ability for doing what I want to do. The only thing that I doubt is that whether I could persistently doing one thing for whole my life. If I could somehow manage it to let me going through one path through my life, I could make it without any doubt. Okay, enough talking, let's go on. Over the past decade, thousands of patents have been granted for what are called business methods. Amazon.com received one for its one-click online payment system. Mario Lynching got legal protection for an asset allocation strategy. One inventor patented a technique for lifting a box. Now, the nation's top patents court appears completely ready to sail back on business method patents, which have been controversial ever since they were first authorized 10 years ago, in a move that has intellectual property lawyers above. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit said it would use a particular case to conduct a board review of business method patents. In R.E. Basican, as the case is known, it's a very big deal, says Dennis D. Karch of the University of Missouri School of Law. It has the potential to eliminates an entire class of patents. Curbs on business method claims would be a dramatic about face, because it was the Federal Circuit itself that introduced such patents with its 1998 decision in the so-called State Street Bank case, approving a patent on a way of putting mutual fund assets that rolling produces an explosion in business method patent filings, initially by emerging internet companies trying to stake out exclusive rights to specific types of online transactions. Later, more established companies raised to aid such patents to the fields, if only as a defensive move against the rivals that might beat them to the punch. In 2005, IBM noted in a card filing that it had been issued more than 300 business method patents, despite the fact that it questioned the legal basis for grading them. Similarly, some Wall Street investment firms armed themselves with patents for financial products, even as they look positions in court cases upside the practice. The Belaska case involves a claimed patent on a method for hedging risk in the energy market. The Federal Circuit issued an unusual order stating that the case would be heard by all 12 of the court judges rather than a typical panel of 3, and that one issue it wants to evaluate is whether it should reconsider its State Street Bank ruling. The Federal Circuit's action comes in the wake of a series of recent decisions by the Superior Court that has narrowed the scope of protections for patent holders. Last April, for example, the justices said that too many patents were being unhealed for inventions that are obvious. The judges on the Federal Circuit are reacting to the anti-patents turned at the Supreme Court, says Rosé, a patent attorney and professor at some university law school. You know what? After the reading, I feel confused because I couldn't actually understand every sentences inside of this article. I couldn't understand even for a single sentence inside of it. So this keeps reminding me that I may got little knowledge on the English. But the strange fact is that I could use it to talk with you, to talk with everybody in this world, even though I still couldn't understand this article. That's strange. Alright, enough complaining. Let's just enough complaining. Let's just get into this. So let's read the crossing. It says business method patents have recently aroused concern because of something. For this sentence, I got a word, patents. What is that? Patents, a government authority or license conferring a right for a set period, especially the sole right to exclude others from making, using, or selling an invention or product. So it's kind of like a copyright for knowledge, kind of stuff like that. It's called patents. Alright, business method patents have recently aroused, invoke or awaken a feeling, emotion, or response. Invoke something, make something happen. Arouse the concern because of what? I don't know, so I need to back into the packaging. Let's read this packaging for one time. Because if we cannot understand this passage, we actually couldn't be able to solve those problems. So let's read this article one by one. Over the past decades, thousands of patents have been granted for what are called business methods. Okay, this sentence is quite simple. I can understand that. Amazon.com received one for its one-click online payment system. Oh, he even applied an patent for their payment system. Such a simple system. Merely Ledger got legal protection for an assert allocation strategy. One inventor patented a technique for lifting a box. It's boring for hearing such a thing because as I think lifting a box isn't a technically hard problem for solving. Now, the nation's top patents court appears completely ready to scale back on business method patents, which have been controversial ever since they were first authorized 10 years ago. In a move that has intellectual property lawyers here's another word, a buzz filled with a continuous humming sound. A buzz, it's kind of a noise, it's like a noise. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit said it would use a particular case to conduct a board review of business method patents. In this probably a place, as the case is known as a very big deal, says Dennis D. Card of the University of Massachusetts School of the Law. It has a potential to emulate an entire class of patents. So what is this? What kind of information this paragraph was delivered? I don't know. Let's read on. Curbers on business method claims would be a dramatic about face. Curbers, it's another word. Curbs, a check or restraint on something. A type of bit that is widely used in Western reading. In English reading, is usually only used with a staff as part of the double break. No, I'll just use a first meaning. A check or restraint on something. Or in other words, restrictions. Restrictions on business method claims would be a dramatic about face because it was the Federal Circuit itself that introduced such patents with its 1998 decision in the so-called State Street Bank case approving a patent on a way of pooling mature fund assets. That ruling produced an explosion in business method patent filings initially by merging internet companies trying to stake out, what is that? Stake out a period of secret surveillance of a building or an area by policy in order to observe someone's activities. Surveillance. Exclusive rights to specific types of online transactions. Later, more established companies raised to add such patents to their files, if only as a defensive move against rivals that might beat them to the punch. In 2005, IBM noted in a card filing that it had been issued more than 300 business method patents, despite the fact that it questioned the legal basis for granting them. Similarly, some Wall Street investment firms armed themselves with patents for financial products, even as they took positions in court cases opposing the practice. Holy shit, I still couldn't understand any word of it. It's strange, even though I think most of those words I have already known. Yeah, start to think whether this article was written by native Englishman or something like that. It's totally different than those words normally would come out from some movie characters, or either not likely would come in from those TV shows talkers. I think these words also will not appear on some internet documentations or the discussing parts from those websites. Or even more, I don't think those words or sentence patterns would come out from those tutorials that made by English. So in other words, those paragraph and this package itself are totally shit. Yeah, that's what I want to say. This is a Chinese graduate exam English test. But anyway, let's eat this shit. If you want to pass this exam, you must read this. The Belaska case involves a claimed patents on a method for hedging risk in the energy market. The Federal Circuit issued an unusual order, stating that the case would be heard by all 12 of the court judges, rather than a typical panel of 3. And that one issue it wants to evaluate is whether it should reconsider its State Street Bank ruling. The Federal Circuit's action comes in the wake of a series of recent decisions by the Supreme Court that has narrowed the scope of protections for patent holders. Last April, for example, the justices signed that too many patents were being upheld for inventions that are obvious. The judges on Federal Circuit are reacting to the anti-patent. Turned out the Supreme Court says this man a patent attorney and professor at this University of Law. So from this sentence, I guess they think those inventions are just too obvious. It doesn't look like a complex strategy or something. It's just something that's so simple that you could say everywhere in life. But they still made it an patent. Let's read those problems. Business method patents have recently aroused concern because of their limited value to business. No, they have superpowers over the business. Their connections with a third location. Probably. Let's look at the third option. The possible restriction on the granting probably. The controversy over the authorization. I think the D is the right answer, so I'll just choose D. Okay, then let's go on. Which of the following is true of the Alaska case? It's ruling companies with the car decisions. It involves a very big business transaction. It has been dismissed by the Federal Circuit. It may change the legal practices in the US. It asks us for this one. This is probably it's a company. So we need to go back to the passage and try to find such a company. In Ray Beneska, as the case is known, it's a very big deal. Says that it has the potential to eliminate an entire class of patents. Alright, that's a sentence. It may change the legal practices in the US. It's probably right. It has dismissed by no, I don't know that. It involves a very big business. No, I don't think so. So I'll just choose D. Yeah, let's keep it D. The word about face most probably means loss of goodwill, increase of hostility, change of attitude, enhancements of dignity. We're gonna go to that word. Carvers on business method claims would be a dramatic about face because it was the Federal Circuit itself that introduced such patents with its 1998 decision in the so-called State Street Bank case, approving a patent on a way of pooling mutual fund assets. About face, what is that? Loss of goodwill. I don't think so. Increase of hostility. I may have to check out that word. hostility, hostile behavior, unfriendliness, or opposition. So in other words, it's the attitude of enemies. It's an attitude of, that coming from our enemies. Hostility, okay, hostility. Increase of hostility, I don't think so. Change of attitude, probably. Enhancement of dignity. Dignity, what is that? Dignity, the state or quality of being worth or of honor or respect. In other words, it means you got someone's respect. You that's dignity. Dignity. You think that you deserve someone's respect. The word about face most probably means, I guess it's say. Winner, why would you choose say? Because it says that this federal circuit, it's probably it's a company owned by the national. It's owned by the nation, or it's just how to say that, a facility that makes rules for all of those peoples inside of that country. So it says that for itself, he just made a word called patents. But then for now he probably wants to do some restrictions on his innovation. I mean, do some restrictions over the patents applying. So it's kind of like this authority tries to change its attitude about that thing. Okay, let's go on. We know from the last two paragraphs that business method patents are immune to legal challenges. There's a word. Immune, resistant to particular infection or toxin. In other words, this word means that you do not fear some diseases, I guess. Immune, are immune to legal challenges. I don't know what they are saying about. Are often unnecessarily issued. No, I don't think so. Lower the esteem for patent holders. That's another word. Esteem, respect and admiration, typically for a person. It's another word for respect. Lower the esteem for patent holders. I don't know. Increase the acceptance of risks. No, I don't think so. To be honest, I don't really know what kind of information the last two paragraphs are trying to tell us. I have no idea about that. Let's just read it again. The Istka case involves a claimed patent on method for hedging risk in the energy market. The Federal Circuit issued an unusual order stating that the case would be heard by all whatever stuffs, and that one issue it wants to evaluate is whether it should reconsider its State Street bank ruling. The Federal Circuit's action comes in the wake of a series of recent decisions by the Supreme Court that has narrowed the scope of protections for patent holders. Oh, there's another sentence that it's a very important sentence for us, because it says that this card says that it will narrow the protections, or in another word, decrease the protections for the patent holders. So less protections would be made in the future for the patent holders. This is a very important information for us. Last April, for example, the justice signaled that too many patents were being uphill for inventions that are too obvious or are too small. So let's go on. What we can learn from the last two paragraphs that business method patents are immune to legal challenges, no, are often unnecessarily issued. I think I should choose B. Which of the following would be the subject of the text? A looming threat to business method patents. Here's a word, looming. Looming appear as a shadowy from especially one that is larger or threatening vehicles launched out of the darkness. So in other words, it's just a word for describing something is about to showing up. We can say parts of them, but we cannot say them as a whole stuff. Something like that. A looming threat to business method patents. Yeah, probably. Protections for business method patent holders. No, I don't think that's the subject for this article. A legal case regarding business method patents. It's not about just one legal case. It's about a lot of cases in this articles. Inside of this article, a prevailing trend against the business method patents. Prevailing trend. What is a prevailing trend? Prevailing, existing at a particular time. For example, the current time. So in other words, a current trend against the business method patents. So I think I could just do a choice between the A and D. So the A and D both are talking about the threat, because for the A it has threat, and for the D it has the against. They are both mean something bad would happen over the business method patents. So which one I should choose? That's a big problem for us. The last sentence, it is said the judges on federal court circuit are reacting to the anti-patent trend at the Supreme Court. So from this sentence, we can at least know one thing, that this trend is already in here. So it's in the current status, the anti the patents, and it's a trend. It's hard to make this choice, but I'll just choose A, because I think it's probably for this kind of test, it won't be too obvious for all those students, because there we got a trend, and in that article we also got a trend. It's too obvious. I don't think it could be the right answer. Otherwise, it's just so easy for those students to make the right answer. So let's just do a correction over our answers from 26 to, let's say, from 26 to 30. I just passed this the right answers here. So it says that we got a wrong answer here. It should be C, but we choose D. Then let's go on. The second option, we got it right. The third option should be C. We choose the C. Then it's B, so we choose the B. And in the last one, we choose A, and the right answer is A. So, I feel so happy about this, because we only made one mistakes, and we have, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 3 answers correct. That's amazing. At least it shows that I got the power. I got the power to make it right. I got the let's say the kind of knowledge to pass this exam. I at least I saw some hope in there, you know. So let's go on. I say what we can do with 26. The right answer is the possible restriction under. We should read the problem first. Business method patents have recently aroused concern because of. The right answer is say the possible restriction on the granting. Yeah, that should be right. We should choose say. But why I choose D? The controversy over the authorization. Yeah, it's also kind of right because as you know, from this article, I know that those people are arguing about this kind of thing. They are arguing about whether they should hold the business method patents. Yeah, but as I said, here we got the word controversy. For this word, in that article, we also got this word, as you can see, controversy. So, as I said, this exam is intended to filter those bad students. So the correct answer will never be so simple. It would never be that simple. So that's why we shouldn't choose D, because it's just too obvious. So for this question, again, we got probably two right options to choose. But in the end, why we choose C instead of D? Because D is just something too obvious. So we choose C. There, those business method patents, they concerned about the possible restrictions on the gradings. So I'm going to add a comment here. I'm going to call it too obvious to be true. Okay. So this is today's English learning. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.